We welcome in Brandy Hinkle from Entergy. Now is the time to be reminded that you can download the Arkansas Storm Team app on your phone. You can also download the KARK4 News app on your phone as well, and you can be sent live updates on this storm situation as it unfolds. We'll get alerts, send alerts straight to your phone, and we can keep you updated as this storm continues to unfold. You're looking live again at our Simmons Bank tower camera. It's the Simmons Bank building downtown. You see power, electricity on Entergy fueling the state along with other energy companies across to Arkansas tonight. And the real question here is how long will these lights stay on? Entergy telling us earlier tonight that there is outages are likely from this. This is going to be a potential storm that is going to bring in ice and snow, and eventually some of that ice may cause power lines to collapse. I want to bring in Brandy Hinkle now. Brandy, thank you so much. I feel like every time we talk, it's the worst possible scenario. So I do appreciate your time tonight. Kind of give folks an idea that are just opening up the app maybe on their smartphones or joining us on social media. What are you guys preparing for? Because we did get that alert tonight that you are preparing. You are saying that outages are likely here.
Well, I think your weather team has remarked about the difficulty in forecasting freezing rain and where that line might be across the state. And of course, we listen to all of those national guys, the local guys as well, to determine how we need to prepare. So we typically will over prepare, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's what we've done now. We've got about 3,000 folks in place across the state, plus all the resources they need, whether that's equipment, power poles, lines. We know that this storm is unfortunately going to cause outages, and it could be widespread and for quite a while. I think you guys also mentioned, it could be anywhere from 24 hours, 3, 4, 5 days, depending on where the most damage is. Based on the forecast, like I said, we have positioned people around the state where we expect they will be the hardest hit. That could change, but again, based on what we've seen, this freezing rain is really going to start moving in about midnight and continue to fall for anywhere from 12 to 18 hours.
Really an unbelievable system that has set up here on the natural state. Brandy, when looking at this, you mentioned it, you said it earlier, this is different. I mean, when we're talking ice, outages are likely here. And one thing that I thought was interesting, and it was right up until tonight, that Keith Monahan, chief meteorologist here, said that the greatest uncertainty is in, a checked line, and that's where, we're still kind of hashing out those details. We're still hashing out those concerns. So you guys on the Entergy side monitoring the same thing. Also, I'm sure talking with the National Weather Service, and you guys were almost playing that game too. Where do we need to put our crews so that way they can be deployed as quickly as possible?
Sure. I mentioned we move folks around the state, and oftentimes we can focus on maybe one quarter. Well, because this has been kind of a moving target, we couldn't move everybody out of central Arkansas up to the north because, again, some of that weather is going to hit us around Little Rock, even as far down as Pine Bluff. And in fact, the forecast changed a bit today, so it's going to be a little more further south. So we are constantly rearranging and moving materials, trying to get people where they need to be before the weather hits, because when you're in the middle of a storm, it's very difficult to move people and resources and vehicles and things like that. Safety is our core value. It's priority number one for our folks as well as our customers. So we try to get everything where it needs to be so that we are able to react and act as quickly as possible. So again, we've set up our baseload teams as well as extras that we've called in from several states, Florida, Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee. We have it as well so that we can begin as quickly as possible and get as many people back online as possible. Again, we do expect that there will be widespread outages. Mentioned earlier about the heavy weight of freezing rain and how it is so much more difficult to keep our lines and tree limbs from falling, and so it can just cause a lot of damage in a widespread area. So we are trying to set folks up where we can do the best and the most work, but we do ask that you be patient with us. Again, we don't send our crews out until we know that it's not going to be too dangerous for them. We are using drones and helicopters, but they can only fly when the wind's at a certain amount. We can't get our bucket trucks up in the air to start replacing poles or things like that either. So we have to be careful. We don't want even to, the walkways are slick. If you have a lineman who falls and injures himself, he's not going to be able to get up on that pole and help string the wire. So we try to be careful, and we want our customers to be careful as well. If you go out to assess the damage, stay away from those trees that are covered in freezing rain, and the lines too, because those lines and those tree limbs not only fall on property, but people, and cause injury. So if you see downed lines, please stay away and call and report those to us at 1-800-ENTER-G.
And Brandy, I just want to ask and more clarify one thing, if you don't mind. When referring to trying to get power restored, there's really no magic number to this. But I mean, is there a possibility that some people could be faced with, I think you said 5 days? I mean, are we looking at this being, I mean, if you're without power, is it possible that you're without power for up to 5 days, maybe longer?
That would be a very small number of our customers, and those are going to be people who maybe their home was damaged because of tree limbs and they're unable to take power. We may get everything fixed on our end, whether it's transmission or distribution lines, when it comes to a neighborhood, but there may be a home or two within a neighborhood that can't accept power until maybe they have some repairs done by another electrician. So it won't be very many people, but yes, there's definitely a possibility, because this freezing rain can cause so much damage to equipment, to homes, to power lines, that there may be a handful of people who won't have power through the weekend. We'll continue to work as long as we're able to, until everybody has power, but it's kind of hard to pin down how many people that would be. Again, a small number. We do expect widespread outages. Hopefully they won't be lengthy, but if I could tell you the future, I'd be buying lottery tickets every day.
You would. I was going to say, you should, if you can, you have to hit up the nearest gas station before they close.
Right.
But this could be a prolonged multi-day event of somebody being without power.
Absolutely. And it's going to be so cold. We know that, it's not just a luxury to have electricity. For some people, it is a necessity. So we hope that those folks had made backup plans in case, they're on breathing machines and things like that they need. We actually work with customers beforehand to make sure that they have battery backup, that, they have access to some of the programs we have to help make sure that we're aware if there's someone who's, for example, on hospice or something of that nature in their home. We always get those critical municipalities, emergency, police and fire departments. We try to get those online first. Congregate housing, nursing homes, things like that. We have a very methodical process for how, who we return power to and how, so that, again, the greatest number are brought back online as quickly as possible. So again, our line workers are amazing. The people who support them are great too. It's all hands on deck. It's round the clock. So we appreciate the patience that our customers have with us, and just know that we're working and doing the very best we can to get your power back on.
Yeah, you guys are going to be working around the clock. There's a few points I want to make here, if you don't mind, Brandy, and that is, we have been looking at various traffic cameras across the state, RDOT. These cameras right here, and I don't know if you noticed it, Brandy, but I have seen throughout a couple of these live pictures vehicles with emergency lights on, emergency, flashing lights on. Obviously, things are turning dangerous up in northwest Arkansas. Right now, you see some roads, it looks like, I don't know if, Keith isn't on anymore, I don't know if that's snow or if that is sleet that has now starting to fall and is now nearly covering some of these main arteries of Fayetteville. Obviously, this is turning very dangerous, very fast. RDOT earlier today, or excuse me, yesterday, making the announcement, asking people to stay off the roads beginning tonight. So if you are on the roads, if you don't have a reason to be on the roads, you are asked to not travel. It is going to be dangerous, and they're asking people not to travel for numerous reasons. One being crews need to get out. Crews need to be able to try and clear these roads as quickly as possible. Another reason is they were not able to pre-treat a majority of these highways. That has been noted before because of the rain earlier today. So if there were roads pre-treated, it was very last minute, and roads that were pre-treated, some of it may have washed away from the rain earlier today. Another reason to stay off the roads if you can is because of the electrical crews, the energy crews that are going to be on this road. It's already, Brandy, incredibly dangerous to be trying to restore power in the middle of an ice storm, let alone try and get from point A to point B while maneuvering in and out of all of this various traffic.
Right. And I mentioned earlier, we try to keep our crew off the road when it's terribly dangerous, but in the event of an emergency, if there's a fire or something of that nature, yes, we will absolutely respond as quickly as we can. But in order to do that, we hope that the roads will be as safe as possible. And that means if there are cars that don't have to be out there, if you're not an emergency, first responder or somebody with the utility, please stay home. We also don't need folks hitting our power poles and causing even more damage and taking out more power than just the storm itself. So yes, we appreciate customers who stay home and stay off the roads for their safety and for ours as well.
Brandy Hinkle from Entergy here tonight. Brandy, thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing. Thank you for everything that you guys will continue to do in the middle of this winter storm, this ice storm situation that is starting to unfold across our state. We know that you guys are going to be working around the clock, helping as many Arkansans as possible during this weather event. So really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It helps so much for you all to give us time to talk to your audiences, and we just hope everybody is safe and take care.
Yes, Brandy Hinkle from Entergy, thank you again for your time tonight. Truly appreciate it.